I'll repeat that. Good afternoon, everybody. We'll start the meeting. Everyone present is aware of the emergency announcement we said many times about exit, so we'll take that as read. Can I welcome Councillors Brown and Thwaites and what's his name?
What's his name?
Councillor Graham.
Councillor Graham. Oh, yeah. So they are here as primarily as observers, but they will be able to ask questions on the agenda item, in particular the last one on the agenda tonight, if they so wish. Please make certain your mobile phones are switched to silent. I'm going to go straight to the agenda now and to announce that agenda item 5 is withdrawn for further consideration. 99%. I was just what I've got to read out.
What's the order paper? Is there?
It's the order paper. It confuses me with the agenda. I've got to, yes. Right. So we're withdrawing item 5 to give it a little bit more consideration, although it's 99% there, and I'm sure we'll be dealing with that in due course. I'm going to deal with items 6, 7, and 9 first, followed because that's all within Councillor Cox's remit. So it's a quarterly set, I suppose, with 3 quarters really, aren't they? And then we'll deal with risk management at 8, which is Councillor Glance's. I'm hoping that we can get through those fairly quickly without a lot of debate. I know that some members have visited Mad Mac this afternoon. I got there a bit late. I was still welcome, and it's something I want to raise in the future, and it may be that under one of the quarterly reports a member may wish to just mention it, and I'd be very happy if you did, but we won't have a big debate on it, but I think it's worth a comment worth making. And then we will go to the denouement, which is item 10, which is quite a beefy one, and that's the one we need most of our attention on tonight, colleagues. And it may well be that we move into exempt mode for part of it, because there's an appendix there that is exempt, and we will want to discuss that. So I have to report that there are no matters referred to from scrutiny to us, which I forgot to report. So can we go to item 6?
Sorry, Liz, can we just confirm?
Sorry.
Confirm with no apologies for absence.
Oh, I do beg your pardon. Yeah. There are no apologies for absence. Are we happy that the minutes are true and correct record? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And declarations of interest as well. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. And are there any declarations of interest? Is anybody interested? No. Okay. No. Okay. So we will now go to item 6, the first of the 3 quarterly reports.
Over to me, Chair. Okay, I'm happy to move the recommendations in the report in relation to the HRA budget. This is the first budget monitoring report that was prepared on the new budgets that were set in line with the business plan that have been prepared and the asset management plan. It is welcome news to see that there is an underspend at the end of the year is being predicted, although that is subject to change throughout the year. Capital spending also continues to perform well. The area that is of concern is rent arrears, and that is recognised in the report, and it is important we get necessary resources in place to get on top of these and ensure high rent arrears do not build up again in the future. As an administration, we totally understand the cost of living crisis that many people face and the impact this has had on many in our community. However, our social rents are at a level that are far below private rents, and therefore it's our responsibility for the future sustainability of the HRA to ensure that the rents are paid. Cabinet and scrutiny will be keeping a close eye on performance in this area to ensure the planned intervention has necessary impact in terms of bringing the arrears down. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I note the underspend, but going back to previous years, we had underspends, but that indicated that the repairs and things were not being done. But I'm quite happy to see this, the fact that it was we'd overestimated the cost of repairs. So I'm confident these repairs have been carried out and we'd still have money left in the pot. So well done, guys.
Just to add, there was an overspend last year, so the budgets have been realigned, haven't they, to take account of that. So we're now projected under.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, Sharon and I were talking about the rent arrears just a little while ago, and how much different it was a few years back when the benefits went straight to the landlord instead of passing them on to the person. And you can understand people when they haven't got much money, you can understand them paying their rent as the last possible thing, especially if the council is the landlord. And so I hope before too long that can be changed back to what it was, because I think that the rent arrears then were much lower, you know, and it's difficult. And in a way, you can't blame people, you know. Thank you.
You're talking so much today. Yes, the recommendations at 2.1 and 2.2 have been moved and seconded. Is it your agreement that we accept those? We should please show. Yeah, thank you. So that's passed. And we now move on to agenda item 7.
Thank you. Another one for me. So I'm pleased to present the report to Cabinet. Whilst the forecast for the year is a good one, we mustn't lose sight of the fact that this is due to the receipt of non-recurring income from grants and higher interest rates, which have benefited us. Whilst the interest rates will continue at this level until into the next financial year, they are forecast to drop again towards the end of next year. So this heightened level of interest is time limited. We will soon be considering our corporate strategy in the budget for next year. Priorities will need to be carefully considered and hard choices we know as a Cabinet will need to be made. The administration is committed to balancing the budget, and to that end, we have reduced the number of portfolio holders and have a number of councillors sitting on multiple committees whilst receiving only one allowance. This shows our commitment that we are all in this together. We all need to look at where savings can be created, and we will not be able to just do everything we may wish to do. And the council's future financial sustainability is a key risk that we need to address going forward.
Thank you. Well, I'll move that. Would you like to second it? So that's moved and seconded. That's the paragraph 2. Anybody wishes to speak on that? Any questions? It's certainly something we'll be carrying forward into the discussions around the corporate plan and the budget. So can we have a show of hands, those in favour of the recommendations, please? That's unanimous. Thank you. So we're now on to item number 9. That's the Treasury Management Quarterly Report.
Yeah, I'm pleased to propose this report. Yet again, the council is one of the top performing in the East Midlands in terms of their benchmarking group for the returns that they get from their investments, and this income is very welcome for the council budgets at the moment. This is continuing to help offset some of the inflationary pressures we are seeing elsewhere within the budgets. We know that interest rates will fall, as I mentioned in the previous paper, and that is being forecast for some time in the next year. Where there is certainly certainty over cash balances, these high rates are being locked in through long-term investments, so we can benefit from these rates into the next financial year. And this is one I'd really like to thank the financial team, because I think our investments are doing very, very well.
You proposed it. I will formally second it and open it up for discussion or question.
Only a comment, really. I noticed on page 65 that there was no borrowing during that quarter, which I think shows we must be getting a lot of stuff right. Thank you.
Anybody want their mortgage transferred? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So any other questions or comments? No. Well, the motions, the recommendations have been moved and seconded. Can you please show if you agree with them? Thank you. So they're passed. And we now move on to item agenda 8, which is the risk management 6 monthly report. And Sarah gets a rest and Margaret has a piece of work to do.
Well, following on from the Sarah show, I'm pleased to present this report to Cabinet. Risk management forms part of audit and standards terms of reference. It is important that we as Cabinet have oversight and awareness of the strategic risks. This is the first time we are reviewing risk as a new administration. We have a number of high risk items, and as you will note on page 38 of the report, these are not new risks that have suddenly cropped up. They have been around for quite some time and well past the first 3 months of our administration. They were inherited from the previous administration, and we have to deal with them effectively and efficiently. Uncertainties regarding future leisure provision. An application has been submitted to the Swimming Pool Support Fund, and further funding has recently been announced, a capital support fund, which we will be chasing. The fourth risk on page 38 relating to the failure to deliver the MMDR in full or in part is worrying, and this will be discussed further this evening at agenda item 10. We are aware of the risks, and we must keep them in the forefront as we review our corporate strategy and look forward to the coming budget process. There is also an emerging risk added around the lack of capacity to deliver services and projects due to the resourcing issues in specific teams, which is a theme coming out of the recent staff survey. Therefore, as Cabinet is setting out the Council's vision and priorities in the new corporate plan, this will be key to ensure we strike a balance between priorities and resources available to deliver them. I am confident that both members and officers are monitoring the risks the Council faces, that the senior leadership team maintain oversight of the risk management arrangements in place and the activities that are being undertaken to mitigate those risks. I'm happy to present and propose this report.
And I'm very happy to second that. Are there any questions or comments on Margaret's report? Okay, well, it's been moved at 2.1. I'll move to the vote then. Those in favour, please show. None against, that's good, that's unanimous. And we now move to the highlight of the afternoon, which is item 10. And I'm going to just read out a short statement. First of all, there's one paragraph I want to add at the beginning, and I want to place on record my sincere thanks to the officers here and at County Hall for the hard work that's been done to progress this issue, which is a very difficult issue, and it's been a bit of an uphill battle in some respects, but I think the outturn is good on the whole, and it's something we can build upon. So thank you once again. Now, this is an important report and addresses a key component of our local plan. I'm conscious that it includes an exempt appendix, which we will no doubt want to discuss. So my intention is to remain in open session for initial comments before moving into a closed session so we can discuss the confidential appendix. I do recognise the amount of work that the County Council has done over recent years to deliver the MMDR and the efforts of this council in seeking to support them. It is clear good progress was made in 2021, which led to the County Council entering an agreement with Homes England for the Housing Infrastructure Fund. Unfortunately, since then, inflationary pressures have taken their toll and created a significant funding gap for the County Council. As a council, MBC has repeatedly shown we will do what we can to support the MMDR, and the Cabinet are fully committed to ensuring that this continues. The report sets out the recent discussions between the County Council and Homes England and the request Leicestershire County Council have made of us to support their remediation plan, which deals with the problem of inflation. Now, this can be seen in a letter at Appendix A, which is in the exempt area. The report summarises our proposed responses at this stage. And at this stage, I would like to move the recommendations and endorse the general approach that's been set out in paragraph 6.3 of the report. As you'll appreciate, I would like to make a few additional points, which I would like recorded in the minutes. In their June letter, Leicestershire County Council originally requested that this matter be considered by full council. That's our full council. But given that no change in our contractual position is proposed and therefore no council resolutions are actually required, we confirmed to them that it was more appropriate that this cabinet consider and respond to the matters raised in the letter, and I'm happy that we do that now. Whilst we are happy to be as flexible as we can and look at any options which help deliver the road, it is worth emphasising that anything Melton Borough Council does in planning terms will always have to remain within the boundaries of what is possible within the relevant legislation. On funding bids, we will always be happy to work with and support Leicestershire County Council on bids which secure additional investment into the Borough of Melton. But clearly, this doesn't preclude or prevent Melton Borough Council from pursuing other funding bids for any other priorities we may have, which would remain entirely a matter for ourselves. And we've heard about one tonight, haven't we, with the swimming pool, as an example. Now, in relation to 6.3 of the report at 2d, it is worth highlighting that Melton Borough Council does recognise that Leicestershire County Council is the local education authority and has responsibility to provide the correct mix and number of school places to satisfy current and future education needs of a growing population. Leicestershire County Council are, of course, entitled to consider how best to meet this statutory requirement in terms of sites, locations of any schools, and Melton Borough Council will always seek to support Leicestershire County Council as it considers its educational delivery plans, provided existing planning obligations are not prejudiced by any such arrangements. I would now like to ask for a seconder for the motion before opening the debate up for comments. Thank you. So if there's any questions or comments on the report that do not refer to the exempt item, now's your chance to have a talk about that. And if I will ask later if anybody's got any questions from other members present. So anybody wish to raise any questions on the non-exempt area? No comments. Do any colleagues at the back have any questions on it? No. Okay. In that case, I will now. Which piece of paper am I reading from?
On your right, yeah.
That one, right. Okay. So for item 10, exclusion of the press and public. It is now recommended that the press and public be excluded during the consideration of this item of business in accordance with Part 1 of Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, access to information exempt information under paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 reads information relating to the financial or business affairs of any particular person, including the authority holding that information. And that will, of course, cover the online link. So that will be extinguished. So I wish to propose that. Will somebody second it? Okay, those in favour? Right, we'll just have a, do you want to?
Yeah.
We'll carry on. Okay.
Just have a
Okay, well, welcome back, everybody who's listening to this, as the case may be. We will now move to the vote of the recommendation on the report in full. It has been moved and seconded. Can I ask for all those in favour? None against, that's carried unanimously. And that's the close of the meeting. Thank you all very much, and thank you for expediting